Hello, so I will show you in a rough outline my postdoc research for the next 2 years at the CIB in Stellenbosch. So actually we are here because we have to cope with one of the worst results of the ongoing globalization. More and more parts of our world get connected by these transportation routes, and as the consequence, more and more species get introduced to regions outside their native ranges and become invaders. So how can we cope with this? So we try to manage them and to control them. And we also try to develop efficient risk assessment approaches or prediction approaches. So, but often we can see that these are not that efficient as we wish. And so, therefore, my research aims to get more knowledge about their characteristics to improve these approaches like management and risk assessment. How can we do this? So first we can try to gain more knowledge on the characteristics of native populations, for example, in the genetic backgrounds. So we can try to figure out how these populations are related and what are their genetic characteristics. And we can also test if there are phylogeographical compositions within the native range. Moreover, we can compare these genetic relations with genetic information of hosts in relation to host parasitoid coevolutionary backgrounds, like with herbivores or parasites, to develop biocontrol approaches. And next step, we can compare native populations with invasive populations, because this will result in more knowledge regarding potential drivers of the invasiveness and the success in the new ranges. For example, a lot of studies have shown that invasive populations differ compared to native populations, which can be based on hybridization or bottleneck effects, foundry effects, different selection regimes, and so on. And during these comparisons, we can also learn more knowledge about the invasion history, like the origin in the native range. And I'm especially interested in the invasiveness and the success of Acacia dealbata, which is a native tree to eastern and southeastern Australia and in Tasmania. And I'm sure most of you have already seen this species, but there's one interesting fact in the native range. Literature says that there are 2 subspecies represented across a really wide range of climatic conditions. So these 2 subspecies are differing regarding their growth characteristics, but also in the niche. That's what the literature says. But we don't have more detailed knowledge regarding this fact, and so we could expect that there are really phylogeographical groups within the native range which might have local adaptations. Moreover, Acacia dealbata is not only invasive in South Africa, so it has a really wide distribution around the globe. And the main invasive hotspots are located in South Africa, of course, but also in South America and North America and in Southern Europe. So, therefore, the main aims of my ongoing studies are first, I will gain more knowledge about the genetic background of native populations. So we will consider more than 40 populations, and I will apply microsatellite markers and sequencing approaches. This knowledge about the genetic constitution and phylogeographic groups within the native range. Moreover, I will consider the genetic information of a potential biocontrol agent. That's the wasp these insects which were collected in the survey, what Fiona mentioned at the first day. And we will compare this phylogenetic information between the native populations and the biocontrol agent. Moreover, we are planning to conduct common environment experiments to see if there are local adaptations represented within the native range. So we will concentrate on the early life cycle traits, and then I will extend my approaches also with invasive populations. We will consider populations from hopefully the most invaded ranges, not only South Africa, so we can compare the genetics of these invasive populations and ranges with the native range to gain a more detailed insight what's going on there and what is the invasion history. And I will also apply niche modeling approaches, as we just heard by Ruben, so to see or to predict the current and maybe the potential further spread in the future. So at the end, these approaches will allow us to get more knowledge on the invasion process, the potential drivers of invasiveness, and to develop more efficient biocontrol approaches and to evaluate the further risk for the invasions in these ranges. Thank you.